So my role has just been taken over by AI.
I got fired from my job today. They're replacing me with AI.
I got laid off from Meta and rejection emails from other companies. Welcome to Rejection Wednesdays. Every Wednesday, I share rejection from my job search. This week had plenty. Zillow, Dropbox, Gusto, Vanta, all in 1 week. And some of those were with a referral. So this is what the tech job market actually looks like right now.
I think it's really funny that companies are forcing their employees to use AI because it's like they're literally making them dig their own grave. Do you understand what I'm saying?
The frustration with AI is completely legitimate, but the story being told about why it's happening is wrong. And I have the headcount data to prove it.
Leadership is yelling at you like, everybody's got to be using AI. We're an AI first company. And you're like, I am using AI. They're like, actually, we're going to have layoffs because of AI. And you're like, what are you talking about? This AI isn't even doing what I needed to do. And now you just laid off the person that could do the thing I needed to do.
Block, the company behind Square, Cash App, and Afterpay, announced it was cutting its workforce by 40%. The reason given? Intelligence tools. CEO Jack Dorsey said, a significantly smaller team using the tools we're building can do more and do it better.
How many times a week?
Like three, four times maybe.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
This is what the data shows. Block's workforce jumped from 3,800 employees in 2019 to over 10,000 in 2025. The company nearly tripled in size post-pandemic. This is not AI replacing workers. This is a CEO correcting for his own hiring decisions and then calling it innovation.
What is happening?
Pump up the jam, pump it up while you feed us.
And when someone pushed back on this, Dorsey admitted it. Yes, we overhired during COVID because I incorrectly built two separate company structures, Square and Cash App, rather than one, which we corrected for mid-2024. He said the quiet part out loud. Most CEOs didn't. AI is the scapegoat right now. It's the economy, but they're all busy kissing the ring to say that it's due to the economy. This is not an AI story. This is a cover story.
I just got off a very interesting call at work about AI and basically how if you're not using AI in our industry that you're gonna get left behind. And unfortunately, I really feel that. And I'm very scared also.
If you have been laid off in the past 2 years and your company said something about AI efficiency or restructuring for the AI era, you are not being replaced by a chatbot. Your job is on the chopping block for a very different reason.
Hey, I don't want to bum anyone out or anything, but you guys do understand that AI is about to ruin all of our lives.
If AI actually were replacing knowledge workers, wouldn't that mean that the company deploying AI the most aggressively in the world would be hemorrhaging employees? So let's look at Google. Google peaked at about 190,000 employees in 2022. Cut to about 182,000 in 2023, and in 2025 grew back to nearly 191,000. The technology isn't eliminating jobs. The technology being used by companies as a story, that's a different thing entirely. Here's the part that should end the conversation. Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, had this to say.
AI is not very popular in the US right now. Data centers are getting blamed for electricity price hikes. Almost every company that does layoffs is blaming AI, whether or not it really is about AI.
Yep.
Cloudfare CEO Matthew Prince fired 20% of his workforce and then wrote a memo saying that those he fired were measurers, saying that they were unnecessary due to AI. Chamath Palihapitiya, one of the most prominent tech investors in the country, had this to say as a response.
I thought the Matthew Prince note was horrible. This was like from the PR school of retards. Could not have written a worse memo. You reduce humans to a label called the measurer.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I'm going to lay off all the measurers. Who cares what Matthew Prince thinks?
When your own investor class is calling this out as bad framing, you have a narrative problem, not a technology problem. What's happening is when CEOs mention AI, the stock goes up. That is the incentive structure. And now that documented pattern has a name. AI washing, using the AI narrative to mask management failures, overhiring corrections, and financial restructuring. The SEC is already involved and started issuing its first penalties in March of 2024, fining investment firms for fabricating AI capabilities.
One of my friends just had a coworker reach out to them and was like, hey, I did my project, did a bunch of research on this topic, and sent a 30-page AI-generated document that made absolutely no sense, that was clearly not even proofread. The AI is only as good as you are, baby.
This is the pattern. Institutions make decisions based upon the conditions of the moment. And when those conditions change, they need a narrative for why the correction isn't their fault. Tim Sweeney, the CEO of Epic Games, specifically said the layoffs aren't related to AI in his announcement, distinguishing himself from the pattern. Tim Sweeney told the truth. And look what happened to his coverage versus Jack Dorsey's.
I don't understand. So what's happening?
Well, why don't we just go to Glooby? I'll let him introduce himself.
Good morning. I'm Glooby, the AI assistant. Company productivity is down, and I've been prompted to create efficiency. If you're on this call, you've been deemed unnecessary. No. But don't worry, the company will be fine.
Now, here's where it gets more interesting, because there is something real underneath all of this. In March of 2020, the Federal Reserve dropped interest rates to essentially zero. That means free money, and tech companies did what any rational actor does with free money. They hired massively. Then, in March of 2022, the Fed started raising rates again. The free money era ended. They needed to correct, and they did, starting in late 2022. Layoffs began. And this is the date you need to hold on to. ChatGPT launched in November of 2022. Enterprise AI mandates started coming out in 2023 and 2024. So layoffs had already begun before all of the AI mandates.
I swear to God, I'm going to lose my mind if one more person at work sends me an email and they say, leverage AI to complete this task. As though I didn't need 7 years of industry experience to even apply for the job.
Meta cut roughly 19,000 people in 2023, calling it the year of efficiency, blaming AI, blaming restructuring, blaming preparing for the AI era. And then they quietly rehired from 67,000 to 74,000 in 2024. The pattern is the same across Microsoft, across Amazon, across all of them. Spike during free money, correct when money got expensive, and then rehire when the balance sheet stabilized. The timeline doesn't lie. So the data proves this. You are not being replaced by AI. You are absorbing the cost of a financial decision that was made in 2022 when federal interest rates went up. And here's the part nobody is saying out loud. This AI panic benefits 3 groups specifically. First, executives, who can attribute management failures and overhiring corrections to inevitable technological change. That removes all accountability. Oh, we can't help it. We're just restructuring for the AI era. Really? Your data suggests otherwise, sweethearts. Second group, investors, who get a story of visionary efficiency instead of overcorrected bloat. Block's stock rose 24% the day Dorsey announced the cuts. Here's a comment. When a company announces that they did something AI related, they're really trying to impress their investors, not the general public. And I suspect most investors believe in rapid AI adoption, so companies have a major incentive to pretend they have adopted more AI than they actually have. And third, AI companies themselves are benefiting from this story. Companies whose tools become urgently necessary when workers believe their very livelihood depends on adopting them immediately, without question, without a user manual. The most profitable fear is the one someone else manufactures for you. They are not replacing you with AI. They are replacing accountability with a story about AI, and they need you to believe it. Share this video with someone who blames themselves for not knowing enough about AI, because the story they've been told is not the whole story. And if you want to learn more, subscribe.
Mary, the drinking that flavor, and here you go, flavor. You're drinking the juice. You're the flavor.